I'm going to show you today is going to come from the system. So you don't need to worry about taking notes. Everything will come to you from the system that you have access to in any case. So let's start off with the first thing that we want to look at, and that will be the website. So let me just switch you over to the website. So I think the three things why I mentioned the website is that one, it is a platform where everything starts off. So if you know the college's website, you can drag this bar and save it to your bookmarks. It's easy for you to get onto. And then the second bit is if you need to get in touch with us, you can either email us because it is a monitored mailbox 24/7 response on this email, admin@UK You can call the college switchboard number. You can also WhatsApp us because you're added to the WhatsApp group now on the course. So you're able to ask any questions, any queries, any doubt on that as well. One of the other things that you can do is if you need instant help, then you can also look at clicking on this option of chat with us. Now, this is an intelligent AI-based chatbot. And if you want to ask any question on this related to your course or the website or the college, you'd be able to do all that, by typing out a question here. So if I say a course like, say, for example, when can I start the ATHE Level 7 diploma in strategic management? So this would give you an answer pretty much instantly, of anything. Okay, how many? So if I want to ask how many modules are there on the ATHE Level 7 diploma in strategic management? So it will give you answers to any question that you have in mind and anything that you want to ask. Who are the lecturers on the strategic management course? You think of anything under the sun, any question, good question, bad question, anything that you think, it will give you an answer pretty much straight away. So this is one way of, okay, where do I submit assignments? You can ask any question, anything which comes to your mind. It will straight away give you an answer and you don't need any person's help. And this is intelligent enough. Even if you ask a funny question, can you answer my questions in Arabic? If I even write that, yes, I can only assist you in English, but if you need further answers, feel free to ask me. So if I say Habibi, which is Mohammed's favorite word. So if I say Habibi, it will say, okay, you need to talk to customer services, and some part of it might not, work. But I can, ask any sort of question, it'll give you answers. Now,
okay, that's fine.
Other bit that you can look at is who are the people in the team who are going to be looking at teaching and delivering, looking after your certification, assessments, parts of it, and who you would get calls from. So when you go onto the website, go on to About and go to the operations team. That is me, obviously, you see. Amrita looks after the registrations and the assessment and certifications. She's the registrar. Most of you, have paid the fees in full. Some of you who haven't paid or have paid in installments, sometimes you need invoices, links to the invoice will all come across from Opain's team, he's the financial controller, but Heta would send across that to you. There are a couple of people in the team who would always be in touch with you on the phone. So for example, Jill, she's the course coordinator. She normally sends across course session invites for you to be able to attend lectures. Gartha would be calling you with regards to keeping a tab on the progress and your status of the course. If you get stuck with Moodle, lectures, recordings, resources, probably would be Grace. Aman would also speak to you because he's one of the student coordinators and he looks after, sessions happening, assignments being submitted, things like that. Lecturers wise, in terms of you'll have lectures from Anjum, you'll have lectures from Yasir. There is another colleague of mine called Samuel, who's not on the website right now. You'd have lectures from me in terms of strategic management. And, there will be lectures also from one or two other lecturers, which typically include Dr. Elvis. Now, they are guest lectures. They are not full-time staff with us. So in such cases, you would have these lectures, which are from the part-time staff as well. But in some cases, you would get to see 2 or 3 lecturers during the course of your study. It is not going to be one lecturer delivering all the sessions, because we teach the units that we are proficient in or we have knowledge in. So I will teach maybe HRM, leadership, Anjum will teach strategic management, Sanjay, for example, would teach research. If you have a financial management unit, it will be either Anjum or Yasir. If you have a research unit, that will be Sanjay. If you choose entrepreneurship or any other unit, it could be Shazia. And there will be different people. Samuel will be teaching personal development and leadership. So there'll be different lecturers teaching different unit, because they have been teaching them for 10 to 15 years. They are proficient in their knowledge and obviously in terms of their delivery. When we look at assessments, main assessor is Reena. She's the lead assessor. She normally looks at marking your assignments. And at some stage, when your assignments are marked, it is checked for grades. And, for example, for certification, that is done by Phil, one of my colleagues, Phil, and he is the quality manager or the external verifier. So if you need to speak to any of them, write to any of them, what will happen is at UK Versity, it is very, very simple to write anybody an email or get in touch. Typically, it is done through the WhatsApp group, because in the same WhatsApp group that you are added, you would see that the lecturers are added and the admin staff is added. So in one place, you can message. But if you need to write to anybody at UK Versity, is always the first name followed by ukversity.co.uk. So if you need to write to me, it's Raman. If you need to write to Anjum, it'll be that. It'll just be very simple to follow this particular guideline, and you'll be able to write to anybody in the organization. If we need to reach out to admin staff, Jill, Grace, Gartha, Aman, and just the first name followed by the email address would allow you to reach us. Now, one of the main things that you're using right now is to be able to access the sessions, and that is via Zoom, because we do most of these sessions on Zoom. So you are able to get onto Zoom. My suggestion always would be that when you are on Zoom, if you try and attend through a laptop or a Mac or a PC, whichever you have, slightly bigger screen, because when you're on the phone, what tends to happen is that you have real estate wise, it is very, very small. So
difficult.
yeah. So you'll see everything very small. So having it on the laptop would be good, because that will allow you to see the slides, maybe interact with the lecturer and ask questions through the chat route as well. And that allows you to do lots of things. The main disadvantage on the phone sometimes is that when you are having it with the phone, if you receive an incoming call, the lecture will disconnect. You'll take the call, then you'll reconnect. So you'll keep going in and out of the session, which sometimes can be frustrating. So my suggestion would be to always join the sessions on a fixed device like a tablet or a PC or a laptop. Now, so you're able to get onto Zoom. We are able to use Zoom very clearly. No problems with that. Second is the website. Third is the YouTube. Because when you look at recordings, if you miss out on any lectures, if you scroll down to the bottom of this website, you have a YouTube icon here. If I click on this icon, it opens the YouTube channel. Now, the YouTube channel, you would need to go in and subscribe. The reason why we ask you to go and subscribe is because what will happen at any stage is it's a free repository. We are putting most of the content on YouTube, because this session that we are recording right now would be 1 gigabyte in mail size. So if I put this on the system, it is going to choke up the system and it will make it slow. So we are using YouTube as a free website to be able to put out lectures. Plus, if you want to read into and listen to lectures by different lecturers that have taught this subject, then the best thing would be to go to playlists. And when you're in the playlist and you go down and scroll to what is called strategic management. So when you look at strategic management playlist, which is here, you would see all the lectures which are there in strategic management, which we have done, and they are all available for you to be able to watch for different units. So in strategic management, we have done over 315 lectures. These are specifically for some of the units. And when you look at, this is just management. You can go into leadership, you can go into project management, and they are all different playlists which allow you to watch lectures which have been done by different people, and they would be for different units. So if you want to watch strategic marketing, you have lectures on that. You want to watch finance, there's lecture on that. You want to watch leadership, there's lecture on that. All the units that you're going to cover, there'll be lectures from different lecturers which are available to you on the YouTube channel to be able to watch and study ahead. So this is one such bit that I would suggest that you have access to, so that you are able to get access to the lectures as well. Now, because we have over 10,000 videos, so here it is important for you to go into the playlist to be able to watch those lectures. So you go to strategic management, business and management, and between them, there are over 1,000 lectures available for all the units you have to study. Now, these lectures are also available as links on the Moodle platform. This is the main platform from which you're going to get teaching and learning material. You have received a login for this platform, and you should be able to access the course from here. Now, before I go into details of the platform, there are two bits that you can also do. You can install this platform on your phone to have it available in terms of getting everything, lectures, recordings, books, presentations, everything would be available on your phone. Now, the only difference, as I mentioned earlier, is that if you have to install this on your phone, there is a free app which is available called the Moodle app, but it will be a small screen in which you are actually getting everything. But this video allows you to see it, and in about 30 seconds, you'll be able to set up Moodle on your phone. What you need is an app called Moodle, which is this app, Moodle. This is a free application that you can download on Android as well as on the iPhone. And when you have downloaded this app, you need three things to be able to actually install it on your phone. So first thing that you need to be able to install on your phone is basically what is called, the website address. What is the URL or the website address of where Moodle is? The second would be your username, and the third would be the password that you have been given, or if you've changed it, then what password you've got or change, then you can use that to be able to set this up on your iPhone or your Android phone or your tablet. And this would give you full access to the course material. So three things that you need, just very briefly showing you that. These three things that you need are going to be the URL where the website is. You have your username, which is always in small letters or lowercase, and the password is going to be case sensitive. And that, if you have, you'll be able to set it up and have it on your phone. Now, when you have it on your phone, there is an advantage for us, because as you can see underneath, there are notifications that we can push, things like calendar update, things like assignment submission deadlines, things like announcements we can push to your phone, because on your phone, it will come up as a text message or as a message which will say you have an update on this particular app. So this is something which is optional. You can install, and if you choose to do so, this can be done by watching this particular video. Now, the second bit which I want to say is sometimes you can forget our username and password. So if you do forget your username and password, again, there is a small video that we put up on the homepage itself. Without logging in, you can actually watch how to reset your username and password by watching this particular video. And this particular video will show you three different ways of how you can set your password. It is system driven, and you should be able to pretty much get that instantly on your email as a password reset link that allows you to go back into the system. Now, how would this work? What will happen is when you see your place here where it says username, forgotten your username and password, click on that. And then you would need to put your email address, click search, and it instantly sends you a reset link, which you click, and then it allows you to reset and create a new password, which would mean that if you forget your password or username, there is no human intervention required. It is done by the system on its own, and that should allow you to get back into the course instantly. Now, when you're in the course, if I have to join in, you type your username in small letters on the top and put the password in. And once you've done that, what will essentially happen is that you'll be able to log into the system, and that would give you access to the course. So you're doing the ATHE Level 7 Diploma in Strategic Management. This course will be visible here. In my case, I've logged in as the administrator right now, so I see a lot of courses, but you would just see one course. Now, the other way would be you go into business and into the business tab and drop down and go to the level 7 strategic management course. ATHE is the awarding body. Level 7 is the level at which you're doing the course, and the diploma is called strategic management. Now, when I click on this, this will open up the entire course for you that you have to study, as you can see. Now here, you have to keep in mind that when you look at opening the course up, the course is actually organized like a book. So you have a table of content. So the first few parts that you see is bits and pieces here that we are going to look at. And this bit is going to be related to, the basic knowledge that you need to have to be able to start the course. And that is going to basically mean that you are looking at, going through some of the important documents that we feel are going to be useful to give you information about the course itself. And that is where I would suggest that you start with. So when you look at, the structure of the course itself, you are going to be looking at going into this particular bit, which is looking at the course handbook today. We are going to look at Harvard referencing. We're going to look at some of the important documents like declaration, which is sometimes required to be submitted with the assignment. And then we look at into the policies folder. Should you wish to refer to any policy, those are going to be in the policy folder. So these are going to be in the policy folder. And then when you go down further, what you're going to see is each of the units named as headings. And when you click on the heading, which is this orange color heading, what it will do is basically get you into the course or take you into that unit. And when you get into the unit, there is a certain way in which the course is actually organized. So we're going to discuss how the course material is organized in this particular pattern and what are the bits that you need to look at when you start reading into the course. And when you are in a particular unit, if you want to go to the next unit, the navigation is at the bottom. When you click right, it'll take you to the next unit. There are lots of different types of documents I'll explain. Then into the next unit, or if you want to go back to the previous unit and the headline option, then you click on the breadcrumbs on the top and it'll take you back to the same overview of the course, which is where you're going to see pretty much all the contents in one space. Now, let's look at how the content is organized in the units and how do you see what is available for you to study. Now, one other thing which I also want to mention is that when you see a yellow colored box around, the units, any particular unit, that would tell you that this unit is currently being delivered by the lecturer. So when you look at a yellow option or a yellow box around a particular unit, it shows you that this is the unit currently being delivered. And this unit is what you would get these session invites for when Jill sends them out to you. So there will be Zoom invites for joining each of the sessions, and they would be available so that you are able to click on the link and join the session with the lecturer. Now, how is the content organized in each of the units? If I click on any one of them, what you're going to see is that there are a couple of documents which are there in the unit. The first document that you're always going to see is a document which is basically going to be unit specification. Now, this is something that we use to teach you the unit itself. And when we do these sessions, each session covers one learning outcome. So the unit is broken down into learning outcomes and assessment criteria. The assessment criteria convert into an assignment brief later. But what you need to understand here is that when we teach the unit, how many lectures will be there per unit? What do we teach? How do we teach? And what all is covered in the teaching? So when we look at the unit organization behavior, as you can see, this unit has 4 learning outcomes. So to cover this unit, we are going to do 5 lectures. Each lecture will cover 1 learning outcome and its assessment criteria which are given. Now, what do we teach in leadership? For example, the first one talks about leadership and behavior theory. Now, I just can't teach you anything. So what do we teach? We teach this, which is given in the learning outcome 1. What is leadership? What is management? What are the different theories of leadership? What are the different theories of management? How the leadership and management, the working culture of the organization, that all is going to be discussed in first learning outcome. Similarly, when we do the second lecture, content of the second learning outcome, third learning outcome, and the fourth learning outcome. Now, what is the 5th lecture for? Can anybody think of what is the 5th lecture for? Any idea? Why do we need to do the 5th lecture? If there are 4 learning outcomes, why do you think we need to do the 5th lecture?
For certificate?
No. Good answer. Okay, the 5th lecture is going to discuss the assignment brief. So after the lecture is done, we also at the end of the unit will need to submit an assignment. So the 5th lecture is going to be an assignment discussion session, which will discuss what are the tasks you have to do, how do you complete the assignment, how do you write the assignment, and how do you submit the assignment. So in this case, the assignment brief would be used, and that is normally given, towards the end. It will be labeled as organization behavior assignment brief. And this assignment brief has certain tasks that you have to do. And these tasks have to be submitted in order for us to assess and mark your assignment. So the 5th lecture in this case is going to be the assignment discussion session. Now, when we look at the units, there are under the unit specification, you have a recording of the lecture. You have a presentation. If you click on this, the presentation will open, which will be covering in detail the learning outcome 1. As you can see, they are quite worded slides because you would get a lot of knowledge and information from here.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Question. I'm sorry, Mr. Rahman. Can you please bring up? We can't see your screen. We can see only this notepad.
All right. Okay. So let me just share.
Can we? Yeah.
Great.
So it will be easy. Yeah.
So
actually, we are on a site now.
Yeah.
Site, and we are going through. Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
So
yes.
This is the unit. This is
Yes.
the unit specification, just briefly, because I didn't realize that I left it there. So if you see, each unit is broken down into learning outcome and assessment criteria. So when we do these lectures, we do lectures on the learning outcomes 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the 5th lecture is going to be the assignment discussion session. All the slides and the presentations that we have are made on the indicative content. So they cover each and every bit of it in detail. So when you look at the presentations, they would cover, all the indicative content which are given. They're quite detailed. And then they will also cover all the assessment criteria given in that learning outcome. So when a lecture is happening, the lecturer is not actually reading from the slides. The lecturer will discuss the slides with you to ensure that you get the knowledge required by understanding the content which is required to be studied in this unit. Sometimes when we do this, we do discussions in terms of case studies. We take up a lot of examples, and these examples that we do discuss relate to the indicative content which is given in the unit specification. If you miss out a lecture, the lecture recordings are available here. And when you click on them, what will happen is you'll see the recording of the lecture which has been done by the lecturer itself. And in such cases, these could vary between, I would say half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, hour and a half, because they could be detailed discussions happening with the coverage of the learning outcome. Now, sometimes it is difficult for us to cover everything in one presentation. So what we do is we create handouts, give you case studies, filtered documents to read, which are articles and journals, which will help you understand the learning outcome in a bit more detail. They are normally uploaded under the learning outcome. So in learning outcome 2, as you can see, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 handouts for you to read. And each of these handouts would cover specific part, and they will give you examples and, real world examples to be able to understand and study in a very concise and summarized format. Now, they are extracts from the book, they are articles, they are journals, and some of the handouts are created by us over the years, because what we've done is these handouts are summarized and short versions of what you are expected to read in books and coverage in the books. So generally, under every learning outcome, you'll see some sort of formats or handouts which are available, which will allow you to study in further detail and in depth things which are required to be understood in that particular unit. And towards the end, we have assignment and the assignment discussion session, which is also recorded so that you can revisit that at any given point in time to be able to understand what is required to be submitted for the assignment. Now, one of the other things that we've also done for adult learners is, because, for some of us, it's back to school after a number of years. What we've also done is we've made sure that you have books and, useful websites also integrated within all the units. And these are traditional books that you would need to study. And in some cases, what we do is we tell you what pages to study within these books, because there are so many of them. For each unit, you'll have at least 2 books available, at least 2, which are recommended by the awarding body. And these are 700, 800, 500, 600 pages long traditional books, which are ebooks as available as ebooks, and they would have lots of chapters, and some part of these chapters would be useful for you to study in detail, depending on how detailed you want to study that particular unit. And they are also integrated in the unit itself. Now, in most of the units, we'll also make available what are called sample assignment. Now, if I want to see as a learner what kind of an assignment is required to be submitted, then in some cases, what we are also going to do is give you an example of how do you think a sample assignment would be, or how would a student essentially submit an assignment. And these assignments would also be available for you to just get some knowledge and information in terms of how they are to be submitted when you do them at your end. Because sometimes, it's easier for us to look at an assignment and say, okay, now I can understand that this is a sample and this is how the assignment needs to be done. And they would generally be labeled as sample. And this is because we want you to see how that presentation has to be made, or what the details have to be put into the presentations. And these samples would be very good samples, the best samples that you can look at. But I don't want to show you something or give you an example of a sample which is just going to be a rough idea. So what we do is we try and provide the best possible sample, so you can see that this is the distinction grade sample. And in some cases, when you do create and do your assignment, you would also know that how much is too much to write, how much is too less, and what is the ideal content that you need to create to be able to submit and then pass that particular unit as a bare minimum. And they will also be all available on Moodle. So this particular system that you see is where you're going to get most of your teaching and learning content from, recorded sessions from, ebooks, articles, journals, assignment briefs, and anything that is related for you to be able to study the course will actually come from this system. Is that okay?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Now, when you look at any particular unit, there are different types of document. There are some Word documents, there are some PDF documents, there are some recorded lectures, there are some templates, there are some Excel sheets, and it'll be a combination of different types of documents, because we want you to have them to be able to PDF documents. When you click on them, they will open on the screen. But when you click on a Word document or a PowerPoint or an Excel document, they will be downloaded to your machine, because we would want you to use them as templates in certain units, like a business plan, or in some cases, research topic proposal or a template. And they would be something that you will download to your, local machine to be able to use them for the purposes of, customizing them when you submit your assignment. So I clicked on marketing plan. Now, I don't want you to create a marketing plan from scratch. So what I've done here is I've provided you a marketing plan template, and you can use this template to fill it up, and that will complete your task 3 of the strategic marketing unit. So this is an example which has been given, and what you could look at is create something like this on the basis of this outline, and that would allow you to complete that task of the assignment. So that bit helps us cover the systems that I want to look at and what are these systems, so that you are very well aware and you are able to use them. So you are in the WhatsApp group, which is the ATHE Level 7 DSM WhatsApp group. YouTube, if you want to listen in and obviously look at the lecture videos, they are going to be available from here. Zoom is going to be used for sessions when you attend live lectures, and they are generally on Saturday and Sunday with the lecturers. So Saturday and Sunday. Now you can install Moodle on your phone or tablet, and that would allow you to have the course on your phone or tablet or PC, and this would allow you to have the entire course available to you wherever you have access to the internet. Website to be able to, get in touch at any given point in time. And if you have any questions, at least who the team are or the people who would be getting in touch with you regularly. And that bit allows me to cover the first part of the induction. Is that okay? Any questions?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
No.
Now let's
All
briefly.
good.
Okay, good stuff. Now let's briefly look at the course overview. Now, the course overview, what we want to look at is the first bit we want to look at is the course handbook. So the course handbook is here, the first document in the course. When I click on this, it'll open up. This is the course that you're doing, extended diploma, which is 120 credits. Most of you are doing this course because you're going to look at doing an MBA top-up at a later stage when you complete. So this course is extended diploma in strategic management, and this is the most up-to-date version of the course. It was refreshed in February 2023. Now, in this course, there are 5 pathways. You are going to do what is called a general pathway because you want to go to MBA top-up. But considering if some of you are not looking at doing the MBA, you can also specialize in finance, marketing, managing people is HR, and international is basically marketing. So this qualification has, pathways also available. Now, the course handbook is useful because it is a 100-page document, but there are some bits which I would suggest that you read to familiarize yourself with the qualification. So what you can do is read about ATHE, one of the awarding organizations running from 2009. They are in higher education. They have courses from level 3 to 7, very well respected. They have university agreements. Their qualifications are accepted by university for top-up, and you are in very good hands as far as the qualification is concerned. So it gives you some background on ATHE. Then if you want to refer to the approval number of the qualification on the off-call, this is the approval number, and you can find the qualification on off-call register by typing this number, and it'll show you that it's an international qualification, globally recognized, and something which is valid for delivery within the UK and outside. Now, there are bits and pieces which I want you to take you through very quickly. Most of you have met the entry requirements, which is fine. But what we also want to understand is this is a qualification which is a graded qualification. That means you can achieve pass, merit, and distinction. And when you want to do so, that will allow your grades to be differentiated because you achieved either a pass or a merit or a distinction. Now, the qualification will cover 8 units. So if I scroll down further and I look at the extended diploma, this is the extended diploma. You are going to cover 5 mandatory units, which everybody has to cover. And then from the optional, you have to cover 3 units. So sometimes I have people covering managing continuous change, strategic HRM, which is human resource management. Some of them cover and do corporate communication. Some of them do marketing, and some of them do developing organizational vision and strategic direction. Now, the ones that we have marked in green are the ones which are mapped with the MBA program. But you are free to choose optional units. The only drawback would be that when you submit the diploma for the top-up, what will happen in some cases is because some universities, when they don't have these units covered in their MBA program, you would have to study the additional modules. So that is where the cost goes up, the time duration goes up. So in most cases, if you're very clear that you're going to do an MBA, then in those cases, you're going to be looking at covering the green units in optional because they are 100% a part of the MBA program. So when you submit your diploma, they will say, okay, unit tick, 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 tick. That means they are all covered. Only dissertation has to be done, and you would be admitted into the MBA top-up. Now, assuming if you do corporate communication or international marketing or finance, then what they will say is, okay, this unit is not covered. You have done 1 unit less. So you have to do the dissertation plus 1 unit to be able to do the MBA top-up. So that is why you have to look at carefully making a decision now, because when we have registered you on the general pathway of diploma, extended diploma in strategic management. But should you decide that you're not looking at doing an MBA in the future in next 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years, then you can choose different units, and the IT administrator will open those units on your Moodle so that you have access to those units. The reason of the other units is that when I choose finance, basically what will happen is your units will become finance. So you have quantitative method, international finance, or business environment. You have to choose 2 out of them or 3 out of them essentially. So developing organizational vision, we have already chosen, but you'll have to choose 2 other, and that is where your diploma, when it is awarded, will actually say level 7 diploma in strategic finance in bracket finance as a qualification. If you go into marketing, then your units will become marketing. So we have chosen strategic marketing already, but out of the other 2, there is no option. You have to do international marketing and corporate communication strategies. If you go into HR, then developing vision is already there, strategic management is already there, and managing continuous change is already there. So what we have done over the years is to choose units which we feel are going to be matching the requirements of what the MBA side of organizations need. And that is where you would be, looking at choosing that as an option. Is that okay?
Yes.
Good stuff. Now, the other bit which is important in this document is to go through page 23, 24, 25, because I cannot do this that you are my favorite student and I'll give you merit or distinction. There is a criteria behind how grading is done in the qualification. So if your overall score after covering 8 units is between 180 to 215, you will be awarded pass. If it is between this and this, it will be distinction. And if it is between 432 and 539 merit, over 540 will be distinction. This is because each of the units that you see and the criteria that you have is 5 points. So if you are looking at achieving a pass, you are going to do only the pass tasks, which are given 1.1, 2, 3, 2.1, 2, 3, 3.1, and 2. That will allow you to gain a pass. But if you want to look at merit, you have to do all the passes plus all the merit. And if you want to get distinction, you have to do everything which is given here. And that each of this task is 5 points. So if you do pass, you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 points for this unit. But if you do everything, that means you are going to have 45 to 50 points. And similarly, if you multiply that by 8 units, 50 into 8 is over 400. Your score will reach, merit definitely. But in some units, you would have more than 3 learning outcomes. In some, you have 5. In some, you have 6. But generally, you have 4 learning outcomes. So in such cases, what will happen is you will have the ability to be able to, achieve a higher score. So the grading system, which is given on page 23, 24, and 25, is important for you to understand, because this is what will determine your final grade as far as the qualification is concerned. Is that okay?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
good stuff. Now, whether you have a pass, merit, or distinction does not matter, because when you go to MBA top-up, they want to see what modules you have done. And at the end of it, what they will do is basically say, okay, that's fine, you're meeting the crime module. When you do your dissertation and you submit, at that stage, the university will also look at grading. And when they look at grading, you can then achieve your degree, which is important in pass, merit, or distinction. So it is going to be important at some stage, for you to be able to achieve the distinction that you or merit that you do as far as your dissertation is concerned, and that would give you an overall grade of whatever you receive on that side with your program. Now, just to give you an example, how does your diploma look like towards the end when you receive it? This is how your level 7 diploma would look like. So if you have achieved passes, it is a 2-page transcript. First part is your award. Second part is your transcript. And you can see the unit grades that you have achieved will be mentioned. And when you get your diploma, it will say a pass, because the overall qualification has been done, in pass. But if you look at, for example, higher grades, then in some cases, what will happen is that sometimes when you receive, your qualification, it could also have what is called merit or a distinction grade, because some of you've achieved higher grades in that. Is that okay? This is just an example to show you how the qualification would be awarded. Now, any questions on this so far?
Thank you, Rahman. Just I would like to ask you about if we need some book to help us about this, where can we find it?
So when you look, so I'll go to that question as well. Now, coming to what you have asked, which is related to, how do you get help? How do you get support? Or where do you submit your assignments and how long it takes for you to get feedback? I'm going to show you an exact example in a second. And the reason why I want to show you is so that you know exactly how this process or this side of the process would essentially work. Now, when we look at after you have had the delivery of the unit. So currently the first unit, which is personal development and strategic management leadership, PDSML unit, is being delivered by Samuel. Now, once this unit is complete in, say, in 2 or 3 weeks time, what will happen is you would be asked to submit an assignment. So if this unit finishes on, say, 31st July, you'll have 2 weeks to submit assignment. Now, the assignment are to be submitted on an email, which is called learnerwork@ukversity.co.uk. Now, when you submit an assignment, what will happen is the assignment, you will get an acknowledgement receipt, which will say, thank you for making the submission, and we have received your assignment, and now it will be marked, and you would get feedback in 3 to 5 working days, from the lecturer. Now, when you do submit the assignment, you would also be required to submit what is called a declaration of originality, which says that this is my own assignment and I've done this on my own and I have referenced the work, and also related to the fact that it will say your registration number, it will say basic details like the name, lecturer's name, and things like that. And that would allow you to make that submission on email to us. Now, once we receive the assignment, we will also then provide what is called essentially feedback on that assignment, that how have you done, what grade you have achieved, and how would that look like is what I will show you now. Because that will be a proof that you have at your end to say that I have now finished and, completed this particular unit. And now you can move on to the next unit. So you'll receive lecture invites for the second unit from Jill. Now, this is where this particular submission guideline is also there on Moodle. So I'll show you in a minute. And when you do submit your assignment, you are keeping in mind that you're not getting your assignments done, or you're not writing the assignments using AI, artificial intelligence, because that will amount to malpractice. Now, when you do submit your assignment, there is a declaration of originality, and obviously you submit it on email. All that is explained, in this short 5-6 slide presentation. Things that you need to be clear of: writing your name, making sure you know the date of submission, and what are things that you need to be careful about in terms of malpractice. That is given in this particular presentation, which is up on Moodle as well. Now, let me show you how you are going to get feedback on the assignment and what will it include. So say I'm going to open a live assignment for a learner just to show you how the assignment is submitted and how the feedback is essentially provided. So let me open just one assignment. So on your screen, what you're going to see is a document which the learner has submitted. So in this case, the learner has submitted an environment, assignment on business environment, and this is how the assignment looks like. Now, what we do when the assignment is submitted, what we are going to do is then basically check your work. And that is going to be the assessment that we do in terms of looking at how you've done the tasks, what tasks you've done, and how these tasks are essentially, helping you achieve the criteria. So this is where you are going to see the feedback that we put on your document to say that, okay, yes, you submitted a PowerPoint presentation. The PowerPoint presentation covers assessment criteria 1, 2, 3. And this is the feedback that we've given, that you're meeting those criteria. There are no changes to be done. And final grade on the assignment is a pass. And we'll give you this particular feedback, which is going to be available for you to essentially get on the email at your end. And then the quality manager would also look at all the documents which are submitted by the learner. So for example, this is one of the tasks which was submitted as a presentation, and this presentation was submitted and we have commented on the presentation sent by the learner along with the Word document I've shown. And then what you get towards the end is what is called a confirmation of your achievement. And the confirmation of achievement typically tends to be a document like this, which is going to say your name, your registration number, the qualification, and why you've achieved the task, and what is the grade that you've achieved in the unit. And this is going to be signed off by the quality manager. So the judgment is verified and the grade cannot be changed. So when you get your diploma and your transcript towards the end, it will say that for this particular unit, you've achieved a distinction grade. And that is how you would get a proof at your end that this unit is complete and this unit is something that is, you managed to achieve this grade on that unit. So you get feedback on the assignment. Now, sometimes when you do submit your assignment, if you find that the assignment is not good enough or is not meeting the criteria, then what also happens is you get a bit of feedback on the assignment. And I'm going to show you that as a feedback on the assignment. And this feedback would be to say that you need to change a bit of your work. You need to basically add bits and pieces to it because it is not enough to achieve the criteria. So what happens in the feedback when you get, this is commenting that you will see on the right-hand side on the document. And this commenting will tell you whether the assignment is met or not met in terms of this is a finance assignment. So whether it has met the criteria or not. Now, in this case, if you open this on your mobile device or a tablet, you will not see, you will just see what is called a speech bubble like this, the small bubble. You will not see the comment because on the small screen, this is not visible. So you have to open it up on your, PC or laptop. And this guidance here on the right-hand side will tell you what you need to do to be able to achieve that task. And when you submit it back to us again, what will then happen is we will go through it, see whether, see whether this is meeting the criteria. And then what will happen is you will get the front cover sheet or the confirmation of the assessment decision to say that you have actually met the criteria and you have achieved this particular unit. So this confirmation comes to you when you have achieved the assignment. Is that okay?
Yes, okay.
Good stuff. So this gives you an idea in terms of the feedback and the assessment process as well. Now, so this brings me to the coverage in terms of, looking at, if I just briefly mention towards the end of our induction session. So we have covered course overview. We've done the assessment and feedback process. You've gone through the demo and the systems. You've also virtually met the team and you know exactly how to get in touch with us and how to submit the assignments.
Yeah.
Now, at this stage, do you have any questions for me?
No, thank you.
So let me also confirm, do you have access to the course on Moodle?
Yes,
This
we have
what?
Zoom.
This course on Moodle. So I can double check. So I've got Khalid.
Yes.
Ali, you are on the course. I've got so Adnan and
Yep.
Adnan. And
Class.
both of you don't have access to the course. So give me
Mohamed.
1 second, because what I'll do is I'll get you the access on the course right now. And that would mean that you should be able to log in and see the entire course material.
Mr. Rahman, just one
Yeah.
question.
Go ahead.
So the assignments will be or after every module that we will complete. So
Sorry, the
after every
assignments
module.
will be-
Hello.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So the assignment will be from how often we need to submit the assignments? Like after every
One
module.
unit, one assignment. 1 unit, 1 assignment.
One. Sorry.
1 unit has 1 assignment.
Okay. Cool. I got it.
So in most cases, we have 1 assignment per unit. And that one assignment per unit means you are able to, submit it towards the end. And in some cases, the assignment is a combination of PowerPoint presentation. It might be a combination of, a Word document or a case study, but generally the assignment tends to be 3,500 to 4,500 words. In some cases, if it's a presentation, that will have 500 words of speaker notes, 10 to 15 slides, and then the balance part would be a document, because some tasks would be covered as PowerPoint presentation and some tasks will be as a Word document. But generally, it tends to be these two evidences that you have to produce. Not all units will have a PowerPoint presentation, but most units will have what is called a Word document or an assignment to be submitted. Okay,
Okay.
good stuff.
Perfect, we got it.
Any other question?
Thank
No,
you.
all good.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, that's good. So what I will do is I will end the session here, and you have the first unit schedule, which currently is being done, with what you call, Samuel. So my suggestion would be, if you continue attending that unit and continue attending those sessions, at the end of it, once the unit is coming to an end, what will happen is that Jill will then send you an invite for the next unit sessions as well.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, no worries.
Okay.
Good stuff. So I will send you a copy of this recording in a couple of minutes. And
Okay.
what we'll do is we'll take it from there. Both of you should get access to the course in the next 2 minutes, because I've just told Grace to create your logins. So you would receive an email, and that email should allow you to log into the system and then get access to the course. If you do not have it in 5 minutes, just text me on WhatsApp, but 100% it should be available to you in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Good stuff. Thanks so much for joining. And
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.